were they really helpful, what you studied there as far as marketing, or was that like, just give you a base, like you said, or learning how to learn? Was it a lot of that, or what was it like?
So a lot of these classes were very like theoretical in a way where it's like, here are the 4 Ps of marketing and, here's how this applies to, Fortune 500 companies. What was actually really helpful was I had this painting internship in college, and there's a handful of outfits that operate a similar model where they recruit students and they say, you guys want to make some money this summer? Here, come over here. And they don't really tell you it's house painting up front. You're like, oh, I don't know about this. But then credit to my wife, because I was like, is this a scam? Is this a pyramid scheme? She's like, dude, it's 3 months of your life. If it sucks, it sucks. It's not life threatening. It's like, okay, permission granted. Let's go do this. What was helpful in those marketing classes was having that, actual hands-on business to apply this stuff to. Oh, this is how you make sales. Oh, this is how you get more awareness to your service. So I think that stuff was more helpful to have something practical to apply it to rather than just, theory for at some point down the road if you're Ford, if you're Coca-Cola. So
you seem like you had like a really good, trajectory, from, high school, college. Any failures along the way in that time period before we get into the career part of it?
Oh my gosh, tons. I felt like, so that house painting thing, right, is like, it's a bunch of 19-year-olds with paint sprayers. And so it's like, there's plenty of problems that kind of come up with that. And it was really stressful to have that kind of fall on your shoulders, be like, yeah, that was my bad. We screwed that up. What can I do to make it right? But on the flip side, it was also really rewarding to push through those challenges, and worked harder than I ever had up until that point. But to be able to stand back at the end of the week and look at the transformation that you made on somebody's house, and then to stand back at the end of the summer and say, hey, we did that 20, 25 times. We ran a $50,000, $60,000 business as a bunch of college kids. Like, that was pretty cool. Other failures, lots of online business failures. Like on my first day of, what I called like my retirement from corporate work. This is post-graduation. Like, I did what you're supposed to do, got a job, but nights and weekends was building up my original side hustle, which was this footwear comparison shopping site that operated on an affiliate model. Like, we're pulling the catalogs from Zappos, Amazon, all these other stores, which tell you where you can find the best price on your next pair of shoes. And on day one, like, I gave notice at work, turned the keys to my company
like
car.
The Orbitz version of, or like the plane flight versions of shoes.
Yeah. So like, in the early days of the internet, you would start your product search on Google instead of on Amazon. And these sites would show up like Price Grabber or Nextag or shopping.com. And they were just aggregator sites. Okay, it's available at these 10 stores. Here's where you can get the best price. We had cool like product level coupon integration, and, it would adjust the price and tell you, well, based on your zip code, here's what the shipping is going to be. And it was a ton of fun. But on the first day of like, all right, I did it. I escaped the rat race. I'm, going to be a full-time entrepreneur. Google comes down and they say, you can no longer advertise with us. Your site no longer meets our quality guidelines. They said. I was like, well, you go through like the 7 stages of anger and denial. Like, you couldn't have said anything like the last couple years of like running this as a side hustle. Why now? All this stuff. And so it was like, not only, so it was like 80% of the traffic and revenue is gone in an instant. And it was a major lesson in diversification for me, which is something that stuck with me. But it was a crazy stressful summer trying to now not only not have the income coming in that I was banking on, but having to reinvest capital in improving the landing pages, extra development costs that I wasn't really anticipating at that stage, to try and tweak things such that it did fall within their quality guidelines. They said, well, you're just an affiliate site. The sole purpose of you existing is to drive traffic to other sites. And I wanted to be like, Google, look in the mirror, man. The sole purpose of you is driving traffic to other sites. But they didn't really like that. So eventually they came back and said, hey, we made an error. You're good to go. And it's like, okay. So lessons about playing in other people's sandbox where you don't really control the rules, lessons about diversification. and plenty of other failures and challenges along the way too.
I'd like to ask you right now, because I know that you're good at what you do, and I'd like to find out, like, what emotional. We all get lazy sometimes. We have weak point. We have Achilles heels. I'd like to get into that part, because, like, somebody listening to you right now and that kind of knows your personality, knows your reputation, is like, Nick Loper is the Iceman when it comes to, like, or this or that. We look at some of these guys that really excel. And it's like, that guy seems like he's. We have this image, right? But internally, I want to know what do you have to battle with personally coming up, emotionally, because we all have that. It'd be nice to hear that from you.